Hey everyone, this should be a fun one. What was your biggest surprise on arriving in the Netherlands? They're going to be asking foreigners who are in the Netherlands, either probably students and visitors. Anyways, let's hop into it. Hope you're all doing great. My name is Mace, and I'm coming to you from Canada right now. I'm in British Columbia, and to be specific, on Vancouver Island. If by chance any of you have been over here, let me know in the comments. It's always interesting to see. These months in the summertime, we get a lot of visitors from around the world, especially when our neighbors to the south have really just alienated everybody to a degree that's unfathomable almost. But yeah, come to Canada. We'd love to have you. Let's check it out, man.
The most surprising thing about the Netherlands for somebody from London is how calm and well-behaved Dutch drunk people are.
I was wondering where that was going. I was like, it was a big surprise how calm and well-behaved Dutch drunk people. Okay, that's fantastic. I like this.
The first time that I came to the Netherlands, I was amazed how people were sympathetic and friendly with me.
The surprising me is the country is so small, but the people's mind is so huge.
The thing that has astonished me is how friendly they are. If you pass them when you're biking, everyone says hi. And the first couple of days I wasn't responding because in California we'd never do that.
Whenever I've just been cycling around or I've been walking to...
I always try to be nice to people and kind, and sometimes I think to myself, maybe I'll make this person's day. You don't have to have the, superfluous small talk, but at least you can be friendly, be a part of a community, because community is so important. And all of us that contribute to a community, we all contribute to it through micro interactions daily, and all of those interactions are interconnected. Sometimes your interaction with somebody that could affect somebody else. If you have a negative interaction with somebody, that might affect them throughout the day, and it affects their interactions with other people. So all of these little interactions that come together, and all the times the news and the media, they paint this negative picture and everything's terrible and you got to be careful and it's such a dangerous world, when really don't watch the media, because they paint a picture of fear, and it's wrong.
The shops, people will always say, "Oi."
I find it strange because you don't know them.
You never get that in Southeast London.
It gives you a friendly atmosphere between you, and sometimes it opens up into a conversation. A guy would be walking his dog and then he'd start talking about the weather or whatever after he said hi.
You have to say hello to 40, 50 people on the way. And they are very polite, I think over polite.
Guy came out with his truck. He had to make a left-hand turn, and I was just sitting at the bench. He pulled out and he was going like this for about 10 seconds or so, trying to get my attention so he could say hi to me.
When I came here, all my girlfriends at home said, "Oh, you have a Netherlander." And I said, "Why? Why is it so special?" "Oh, they are so open, they are so nice, they are this, and they are."
The Dutch mentality, the people that they are direct.
Dutch people say everything very directly.
You can have all kinds of thinking.
We've seen the Dutch people direct things on prior videos, and the Dutch people don't say sorry things in prior videos, but it's just cutting to the chase, right? That's what we're doing. That's good.
They will feel strange, feel shocked.
They speak very loudly than Japanese people. When I'm in the class, I have to speak loudly than normal.
One thing I found really surprising about here is that people give out their bank account numbers to other people. That would just never happen in the United States.
Yeah.
"Oh, you can pay me." I said, "Okay, well, how? Here's my bank account number." That just would not happen.
Coming from the south of Italy, I was just used to the fact that people would not stick to their words. So what I was very surprised is what was the difference between the Italian way of hiring person and the way that they say they do it here.
The most surprising, the lack of hierarchy that we see in our organizations compared to the United States.
In Japan, in the school, we have to respect teachers, respect all people. In the Netherlands, after the class, we always drink beer or do karaoke with my teachers. We are very equal, so that is very impressive.
Heck yeah. Drinking beer and doing karaoke? Sounds like a good afternoon to me.
for me.
I found it very surprising that they throw this most amazing carnival party down in the South, the Catholic South, on a par with Venice or parts of South America. You know, that was to see the Dutch going totally wild. That was such a shock.
The Dutch don't play when it comes to party.
Tall everyone was.
Let's make
I
party.
knew there was like tall people here. But then when you stand in a concert and there's just no way you're gonna see anything.
Yeah.
The smell of the country. You can feel the smell of the cows or the sheep. Surprised me.
What about the tulips and the flowers?
It's really surprising because this is everywhere.
I felt the smell and I said, oh my gosh, I
stepped into something. And I started to look my shoe and it was nothing there. And I said, oh my gosh, a bird pooped in my hair. And I started to look my hair. Then I said, oh my gosh, maybe I'm sick. You know.
We don't have the alarm. First time I was here, I didn't know about it, and suddenly 12 years, I don't know, first it was for war and then for flood. Very, very scary.
There is a
What is the alarm that she's referring to?
couple of bridges. These bridges are for planes. So you are driving and plane cross this bridge right above your head. That still
sounds cool.
Is funny for me.
Prostitutes on windows? That's pretty surprising.
The red light district, I didn't know that like a country would have that.
I was in Amsterdam walking around on a Sunday morning and I was very, very tired and I needed some coffee. So I politely asked a little old Dutch lady who obviously just came out of church where the nearest coffee shop was. Not knowing what a coffee shop meant in the Netherlands, she proceeded to yell at me and smack me with her purse.
More foreigners will like go to a coffee shop.
Wait, what does coffee shop mean? That means something bad in like the red light district or something? Like what?
And smoke weed than Dutch people. The drug culture is very small. You go to England where it is illegal.
Or you smoke
straight
pot
up,
in the
and
coffee shops.
More people in England smoke weed than they do in the Netherlands.
The service here tends to be more focused on the human experience rather than making a quick buck. If I walk into a restaurant, for example.
After we order, we usually don't see the waiter again. We have to flag them down to get refills, and also getting the bill sometimes is a problem.
I have the opportunity to sit and enjoy the conversation that's around me and go when I'm ready to go, unless of course it's closing time. It's incredibly human experience focused.
How the hospital or the doctors work here is very different. If you go to India or the US or everywhere, then you've been pumped up with a lot of antibiotics. And here if you go to the hospital, you get paracetamol, that's all. You get, okay, wait for 3 days, see if the fever is still...
Paracetamol is just like, yeah, you take that if you have like a fever or cold, right?
There. Okay, after that you come...
Kind of like Tylenol?
fully different than most of the countries, I would say.
The biggest surprise to me is that everyone bikes. I find that it's so interesting that the older people still bike. They're still able to get around. It's amazing.
You'd see 3 people on the one feet, one riding, one on this side, one hanging on the back.
The parking lots would have like 30 cars and 900 bikes. 10% of the parking lot was cars and 90% was bikes.
I knew that.
Which is incredible, and I think we've discussed that a lot, how beneficial it is to not just old people, to children, people of all ages, really. Like, it's a recreational activity. It feels good to be outside. You're contributing to, lessening pollution. You're making things more efficient, less traffic, and you're also getting physical exercise. So it's like... There's no losing in the whole cycling infrastructure and cycling culture.
This is a biking place, and I love that about Holland. But yeah, they're not afraid to run you over.
Everybody
Get out of the way.
Riding a bicycle, and you have really a road for the bicycles everywhere.
Bicycle superhighways,
it was
baby.
A surprise for me.
I have to watch everywhere all the time because bikers are coming from all the directions, and I was not sure if I'm taking the correct road. Am I on the bike road now, or what is happening?
The wind. The first 2 days I couldn't feel my face.
Windmills. I wanted always to stop everywhere and make pic of every windmill.
I understood that there was rain here, but I did not fully appreciate how much. My very first year was the cold.
Hey, I live on Vancouver Island. It's rainy. 6 to 8 months of the year, it's rainy.
Coldest, wettest year in over 100 years.
The steps. I remember just how thin and tall the houses were. Looking at them, I wondered how people could even live in them.
Coming from Ireland, I found the organisation of everything a total surprise.
How Dutch people are so precise with time. Here the tram comes in 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes, it's leaving. And I was always the one running behind it.
You're standing at the bus stop and it says bus in 1 minute, and it comes.
The shop's closing at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. You can't buy anything after that. That was like a big shock.
I gotta say, the transport in Vancouver is really good. It's like that. Like if you take the Canada Line or any of the Sky Trains, it'll be like next train, like 1 minute, and it's there in 1 minute.
For me,
I had tears.
The buses might be late
I
sometimes,
couldn't
but
get to a store after 6 o'clock
because they're dealing with traffic.
At first, it really irritated me because I thought, oh god, it's so organised here. The more I sort of relaxed into it,
It's too organised.
the more time I spent here, I think I'll go over to Holland for a little bit of organisation for a while.
I like that. A lot of good answers. That was great. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Certainly some funny comments. The lady wants to take a picture with every single windmill. I didn't know that. How rainy is it in the Netherlands? Is it because here in Vancouver Island, like 6 months of the year at least, I would say, it's like rain. Oh, look at the forecast. Rain. And we get sunny days sprinkled in. And right now the weather's been absolutely beautiful for a while. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know what the lady was saying about the smell. I don't know if she was in a particular area that has a lot of like farms around it or certain things. Just like those areas here too. If you go near like a dairy farm or something like that, it might smell, especially when they're, or beef, a cattle farm. It might be smelly when they're doing their work. But yeah. All right. See you soon.